Welcome to GDS081 Motion Graphics with After Effects. My name is Curtis Pembroke and I'll be your instructor for the course. I've been teaching at Mission College now for 20 years. First, as I started as instructional designer and e-learning developer, which is how I started using After Effects, and then moved into the graphic design and multimedia department. In my spare time, I produce e-learning, and I've developed e-learning for companies like Federal Express, most recently a professional organization called IFMA, Facility Management Association, Federal Aviation Administration, a lot of companies that do work in oil and gas, and a lot of faculty do additional work, particularly in the summer, so we can afford to be teachers. And so I use After Effects for producing motion graphics for my e-learning courses. And I'm relying on it more and more since Flash has gone away. And I started using Flash back in 1997. And it was my core tool up until the last, 5 years or so. So I've been with Mission 20 years. You can reach me via email or Canvas mail. My office is in the Gilmore Center, 217B. My office hours are listed here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, although that might change depending on the needs of the bulk of the class. It's kind of weird with us being completely online because everybody has different hours, and it's hard for someone, to necessarily meet me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I can meet you by arrangement. I don't do office hours on the weekends. In fact, you can count that from basically Friday night around 7 p.m. until Sunday night at 7 p.m. I will be offline because I think I deserve my weekends as well. I do check Canvas in case there's any crises or anything. You may occasionally see me check into the discussion forums. But generally, I'm available during the week within 24 hours, and on the weekends, 48 hours, unless it's an emergency. Our course is completely online, and we're here till December 18th. And it's fully online, and there's no required scheduled face-to-face meetings. So you don't have to come to campus. We don't even have to do synchronous sessions. We might do synchronous webinars if there's a topic that I think you could all benefit by us speaking directly. If you can't make those synchronous webinars, if they occur, then I'll record them so you can view them later. It's important that you log into Canvas by 9/7 so that I know that you're enrolled in the course, and I can send an enrollment report to my dean and department chair sometime late next week. If not, I'll drop you. Now, for any reason you do everything, you complete the orientation, which includes taking the quiz, etc., and then you disappear and become inactive in the class. And to me, that means basically you've been gone for weeks, and in the process, I've tried to reach you and you don't respond, then I won't drop you. You're responsible for that. And I know that there's this expectation on campus, but it's not an official guideline. There's an expectation that instructors will drop students. I will not drop you. If you stop attending, it's your responsibility to withdraw from the class. This course basically focuses on motion graphics and creating motion graphics for film and video and the web, and which I spend a lot of time doing for e-learning. And the course is composed of two things: understanding the principles of motion graphics and design for motion graphics, visual communication, and using Adobe After Effects. And After Effects is the platform that we use to learn and understand motion graphics and visual communication. It is beneficial if you have a camcorder, or you can record video. You can even do that on your phone. A lot of students just do it on their phones. Makes it a little edgy and kind of cool. So if you want to use After Effects and you want to, say, create title screen or an intro for something cool with video. You could shoot it even on your phone, but if you have a camcorder, that would be great. If you have a basic understanding of Adobe Photoshop, that helps, although it's not required. As I said, in terms of the outcomes, when you're done with this class, you'll understand some basic principles that we teach through the program, like type and line and space and color, and how it is used to convey a message in motion graphics. And you'll develop an understanding of Adobe After Effects and other software packages to create really effective and engaging motion graphics pieces. There are 3 textbooks that we will utilize in the class. One is recommended, but the 2 are required. After Effects for Designers is a great book for designers. It focuses primarily on the things that we do, but it moves pretty fast. And so I also recommend as a supplement Adobe After Effects Classroom in a Book. Now there is a 2021 release, but it's not available for free. And so there's very little difference between the 2020 and the 2021. The second textbook is Animated Storytelling, Step-by-Steps for Creating Animation. These two will be our core books. And I will reference them, and they're available for free at O'Reilly Media, and as well as this third one that I recommend. We will use, or I'll point you at the Adobe After Effects Classroom in a Book textbook for at least 2 chapters. For example, one is on color correction, because that book provides some really nice exercises. I'll also point you to the tutorials that Adobe's produced for After Effects, which I think are actually some of the best that Adobe's produced. The software you're going to need at a minimum is Adobe After Effects, but if you have, and it says Adobe Animate, I don't know why it says that, but Adobe After Effects. But you should have a Creative Cloud license to get the most benefit for this course. And you can get it at a discount. I think it's $49 a year or something. If for some reason you can't afford it, then shoot me an email, and the district may be able to help you buy it, but you have to demonstrate an economic need, like similar to financial aid. To get a free copy of the e-textbooks, you have to go to O'Reilly.com, but the specific procedures on how to get your O'Reilly account set up are at the Mission College Library, and you want to go to Off-Campus Services and then click there's an accordion menu there. Click on Register for O'Reilly Books Online, and it takes you through the whole process. And once you're done, you get access to the ebooks for this course and hundreds of other ebooks across multiple disciplines. It's really cool because it's free, but it's not in EPUB or MOBI format or even PDF. You have to download the O'Reilly app if you want to use it on your phone or your iPad or other tablets. In terms of assignments, we have 10 labs worth 20 points each for 200 points. Participation is 100 points. And so I will have you share your work in the discussion forums or reflect on what you've done each week, and you need to post and then reply to a peer, one of your peers, or you can post something that you discover about After Effects or maybe an interesting article related to what we're covering that week. And that's so that we can build community in the class. The final project, which is a simple After Effects piece, and I'll explain the criteria for that later, but generally it's just you can create a piece that can be between 1 and 3 minutes or more. You don't really want to go more than 5 minutes. I mean, that's a huge After Effects project. And that's worth 200 points. And I'll show you the rubric as we progress through the course. And there are samples in Canvas of the final projects that students created. And it's not just producing the After Effects project for the final project, which is discussed here. Um, it's it's also that you have to provide your documentation, like your storyboards, your creative brief, etc. So we'll talk about those things next week, actually. Um, Style frames, stuff like that. And so some examples of projects are things like explainer videos. This is what I produce a lot of. User interface animation. After Effects is being used a lot for that in Silicon Valley. A movie or TV opening title, animated story, product marketing, advertisements, or promotional media. In terms of grading, this grading criteria is straightforward. But you already have an A in my class. You start with an A, and by completing the assignments, you keep the A. You know, what I'm looking for from a student is that you make an effort, not perfection. Because even, my work is far from perfect. I teach literally, as of last year, I have taught upwards of 35 different types of software. So it's, when I come back to After Effects every other semester, I have to it's like working out to be on a football team or a baseball team. I have to work up to it. And so I don't consider my work ever perfect. And so what I'm looking for is effort, not perfection. I'm looking for you to learn the principles of motion graphics design and the After Effects providing that conduit. Not that you're an After Effects expert or that all of your lab work or your final project is a super polished piece. The schedule is pretty straightforward. The fall semester is interesting because we start school and then we have the Labor Day holiday. So for about 2 weeks, we're in limbo. I don't assign work during the holidays. That's just not fair. So we have the 10 labs, starting with the elements of design all the way through color correction and rendering and publishing. And then I give you 2 weeks to work. Actually, you get 3 weeks to work on your project. Maybe, no, 4, including Thanksgiving if you work on it. I would hope you take some time off. But you get a production week. From the end of November through the end of the semester is production week. And the reason is it takes a lot of work to produce an After Effects project, particularly if you're going to integrate video where you go out and you do a video shoot. You'll probably have to edit the video in something like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut, if you know that, or just do some quick and dirty editing with some other tool. And then after that, then you're going to have to optimize your video, bring it into After Effects, add your effects, etc., whether it be adding type or something else, and transitions and effects, and then publish it and get it out the door. And in the process, you want to do a formative review. And that's basically let people look at the work in progress so that you can make changes. On 12/11, we'll have a face-to-face meeting where you have to do a presentation on your project. So you can either do that face-to-face. If you can't make the face-to-face, then you can record a presentation, and I'll talk about how to do that. It's not using After Effects. And then let folks get a preview of your project. On 12/18, all projects have to be done. And what that means is basically you send me an MP4 or you give me a link to it. If you get Creative Cloud, you can publish your pieces, your projects, or links to your After Effects compositions and work at Creative Cloud. But you might run out of space, because especially if you're using video, so you might need to submit like lab 1 and then a few weeks later take it down after it's graded. Important dates are listed here, and those are everywhere on the Mission College website. I put them there as a reminder. And everything else here you can read on your own. It's just good to know information provided by the college, and they require all instructors to post it in their syllabi. So sorry for the delay. I was thinking about using a new video system that we have, but Canvas wasn't cooperating with it. So I'm re-recording this thing and I'm publishing it to YouTube so that I can get some reliable captions. So if you have any questions, this is the last thing I'll mention, post your questions to the questions forum. Because we're an online course and we don't meet face-to-face, it's difficult to mimic the traditional classroom setting. So in an online course, what I require is if you have a question about an assignment or the reading or some procedures or something that are important to After Effects, the odds are the rest of your classmates have the same question because students tend to ask the same questions. So post your question in the questions forum, and then either I will answer it or you can answer one another's questions. What I'm trying to do by doing that is creating a interaction similar to what you do in the traditional classroom and how people interact. If you have a question of a personal nature, like you might need an extension on an assignment, or you might be traveling and you want to let me know, then that's something you send to me in email. Oh, and then one last thing about assignments. I didn't note it here, but I automatically give you a 48-hour extension on all assignments. I do that in all my courses. So if you look at the lab and the lab has a due date attached to it, you automatically get 48 additional hours on that lab. Like if the lab is due on 9/25, like lab 2 might be due on 9/25. If necessary, you can submit it as late as 9/27. And that's because I know that life gets in the way. And with COVID, we're all over the map. Who knows where we'll be, you know. Things are really wacky and wonky in society right now. So if you're a little late, you have up to 48 hours. If you intend to go take longer than 48 hours on assignment, please send me an email. Okay, that covers it. And again, welcome to GDS 81.